When the call dropped between Charles and Max, Charles didn't think much of it and chalked it up to a poor signal. Moments later, Amelia returned from getting her ankle bandage changed and was surprised to find Charles was still awake. "Oh, does it hurt too much to sleep?" she asked softly, adjusting the drip rate on his IV. "No, I was just waiting for you to come back. I worried when you were gone for so long. Your phone rang earlier. I answered in case it was something urgent. It was Max. You have a very cute kid." Amelia had been expecting Javier to call. When Charles explained that it was Max who called, her heart sank a little knowing the prince was probably too mad to speak to her. And she couldn't blame him. She missed the birthday plans she had promised him, and also did the one thing he'd asked her not to do in the past. She got caught up in an emergency and didn't keep in touch with him. She scrolled through her phone to find several missed calls from future husband earlier this evening. Amelia called Max back to say goodnight, but when she dialed future husband, the call was declined almost instantly on the first ring. She froze. She knew Javier was on the other end of the phone and had hung up. Feeling a twinge of distress, she decided not to call again if he didn't want to hear from her. Besides, she had Charles's health to worry about at that moment. Amelia spent the night sleeping uncomfortably in a chair by Charles's bed. When his parents arrived the next morning, they found her curled up on it like a cold, abandoned cat. Charles's mother sweetly nudged Amelia awake.
"Amelia, darling, you've had a hard night. Go home and rest. Charles is in good hands here."
Amelia shook her head. "It's no trouble, honestly. It's nothing compared to what Charles is going through." The doctor came in shortly after to prep Charles for surgery, and Amelia turned to Charles's mother. "Actually, since Charles is going to be tied up in surgery for a while, I'll go ahead and go home to freshen up. I'll come back later with some soup for Charles."
"That's very kind of you. Please take care of yourself, too,"
his mother said, smiling warmly. Amelia got into a taxi, heading back to the villa, and the trauma from the car accident lingered in her mind. Her breath hitched, and her grip on the seatbelt tightened every time the driver hit the brakes. As she watched out the window, her mind drifted back to Javier and churned. She broke her promise to him, and his no-contact cold treatment left her feeling unsettled. When she arrived back at the villa, Mr. Grant greeted her at the door. "Miss Rivera, you're finally back." She felt like she'd been gone for days, but it was just a night. She asked him, "Did Max leave for school?" He nodded. "Yes, early this morning." Amelia paused for a moment, as if she wanted to say something else, but instead she asked Mr. Grant to have the kitchen prepare a pot of soup. "Would you have it put in a thermos for me? I'd like to take it with me, as I'll be spending the night away from the villa again." "Of course, Miss Rivera." After his surgery today, Charles was bound to have a tough night of recovery, so Amelia planned to stay at the hospital again this evening. Amelia headed to her bedroom to freshen up. All her muscles ached, and she had bags under her eyes from not sleeping well, but a hot shower helped wash away some of her exhaustion, leaving her feeling a bit refreshed. She packed a small box with toiletries and laid a few items of clothing out on the bed before packing them into an overnight bag. As she was hunched over the bed folding her clothes, she suddenly felt an oppressive gaze on her, cold enough to make the hairs on her neck stand on end. She glanced up to see Javier standing in the doorway, his face dark and expressionless, but his eyes were fixed on her like arrows ready to strike. Her heart skipped a beat at the sight of him. She didn't expect him to be home at this hour. Javier stepped into the room and shut the door behind him before leaning back against it, his stare boring into her. The lack of sleep was evident on her tired face, and he attributed it to the long night of passion he assumed she shared with Charles. His jaw clenched at the thought. After a minute, his cold voice broke the silence. "What are you doing back?" He walked over to her wardrobe and began to pull out more of her clothes, which he tossed into her night bag, along with what she'd already packed inside. What are you doing, Javier? She was already on edge from the accident, and his passive aggression was filling her with more unease. I'm helping. We should make sure you have plenty of clothes packed so you can disappear for as long as you like. I imagine it would be a bother for you to have to interrupt your honeymoon away to come back here. He dropped another stack of clothes into her now overstuffed luggage. Amelia's voice trembled with guilt and frustration. I'm sorry I missed our plans last night. It was wrong of me to not try and get in touch sooner, but it was because Javier cut her off. Because you were with Charles? I know, Amelia. Do you enjoy standing me up? Is it fun for you? You made a fool of me in front of my parents. 2 hours I waited for you, and not even a text. Amelia was confused. Your parents? She had no idea Javier had any intention of introducing her to his parents, nor did she know they were in town. I wanted to surprise you and Max and spend my birthday with all of my family together. But I guess that pales in comparison to the company Charles provided you with. Amelia rose to her feet to meet him. It wasn't like that. What was it like then? Is it so good with him that you forgot the promises you made? Did he tie you to the bed so you couldn't call? His words were sharp, like daggers, and they shook her already fragile composure. Her body still a wreck from the accident and the lingering guilt of Charles's state from the crash. Hurt and angry, tears came to her eyes. No, I broke my promise and hurt you on your birthday, but that's no excuse for you to speak to me like that. The memory of that woman answering his phone in the middle of the night bubbled up and filled her with bitterness. Who are you to demand anything of me anyway? Who are you even to me? You tell me, Amelia. Javier's breathing was heavy, and his heart wild as he closed the distance between them, his dark eyes meeting hers. Who am I to you? Who were they to each other? It was the million-dollar question that had been gnawing at both of them. The ambiguous boundaries and intimacy and explosive feelings, all of it was slowly driving them both mad. The silence that followed was suffocating. Amelia's blood boiled, with too much contempt to dignify him with an answer. Just an insufferable egomaniac. His brow darkened. You treat me like a landlord. You live here, you come and go as you please with no regard for me or this home. Sick of his venom, Amelia shut her suitcase and fought to zip it closed. As he watched her gather her things in a hurry, his face fell. You are leaving, then? She collected herself and spoke calmly. I won't be staying here for the next couple of days. The commute is inconvenient. Once Charles doesn't need me, I'll come back. Her calm demeanor only infuriated him further. The thought of her spending time with another man, especially overnight, was unbearable. His jealousy flared. Good. Go ahead, run away with him for all I care. This house doesn't need you. His words hit her like a slap, and her heart sank. She clenched the handle of her luggage, her vision blurring with unshed tears. Instantly, Javier felt a pang of regret, and he was tempted to take back his words. But his pride held him back. Fine. If you think so little of me, maybe it's best if I find someplace else to live. Her words were quiet, almost resigned, but they cut deep. Goodbye, Javier. To find out what happens next, download the Pocket FM app in the next minute to get free access to all episodes of The Royal Accident for free.